The US government wants to kill Luigi Mangione. But this isn't just about one man. This is about America's machinery of death. Executions in the United States have surged to their highest level in 16 years. 47 people have been put to death in 2025 alone, nearly double last year's total. As the Trump administration's campaign to reinvigorate capital punishment turns political ambition into state-sanctioned killing. On April 1st, 2025, Luigi Mangione, not even yet federally indicted, became the first person that this administration chose to very publicly carry out that agenda. Mangione's lawyers argue that the death penalty itself is unconstitutional and applied arbitrarily, and when you look at the data, they're not alone. The Eighth Amendment bans cruel and unusual punishment. In Furman v. Georgia, the Supreme Court struck down the death penalty, citing its arbitrary and discriminatory nature. Critics say those same problems persist today. The death penalty is never applied in a vacuum. Political forces shape who faces the death penalty, where the cases are pursued, and even how the jury is selected. Prosecutors' ambitions, public pressure, and national politics often drive these decisions. In Mangione's case, the Attorney General publicly declared the death penalty before his indictment, tying the decision to a political agenda. His lawyers argue that this prejudiced the process, the type of politically motivated application that critics say makes capital punishment unconstitutional. The death penalty is supposed to target the most culpable, yet historically, at least 44 intellectually disabled individuals, as well as 366 people who committed their crimes as children, were executed. Today, about 20% of death row inmates have serious mental illness. The death penalty isn't evenly applied across the country. Just 2% of U.S. counties account for the majority of death sentences and executions. That means that where you live can be just as deadly as the crime itself. In 2025, just a handful of politically aggressive states drove the deadliest year of execution in 16 years. Jury selection in death penalty cases is far from neutral. Potential jurors who oppose the death penalty are routinely excluded, creating death-qualified juries more likely to convict and impose death. Black and Latino jurors are disproportionately excluded, making these juries less representative and more prone to bias. Race plays a huge role in who faces the death penalty. Since the modern era, Black people have comprised 41% of death row inmates, despite being only 13.6% of the U.S. population. Wrongful convictions can and do happen. From official misconduct to withheld evidence to coerced confessions, about 200 death row inmates have been exonerated since 1973. That's roughly 1 in 8 executions overturned. But how many mistakes were never caught? Mangione's case is just one of many that exposes a system which is racialized, arbitrary, irreversible, and politically driven. Executions are surging, rules are being broken, and the death penalty is being used as a tool of power, not justice. But we can change this. Fight to abolish the death penalty.